I've got some pictures about my journey with Accumulate. My name's Mitchell. Yeah, like, how do I get into play? Right, so this fantastic looking guy here, that's me. At the back of the bus, that's a place where I'd often get some sleep. I don't look particularly happy. I'm not sure I'd like to come across me, to be honest. This is back in 2019. I've been homeless for a number of years, in and out of prison, 7 times in the previous year, 2018. I had mental health issues, I was regularly shoplifting, I was addicted to crack, alcohol and heroin. Great times. So, in the very top, it's come out a little bit smaller than I wanted it to be, but that's the church doorway that I was sleeping in when I got found by the No Second Out team, the outreach team in Westminster. Quite a nice church doorway, isn't it? To be honest, as doorways go. Yeah, they got me into Passage House. That was a hostel in the area in Westminster. This next picture, I know it just looks like a bit of a mess, but this was actually a really big deal for me because this was the room that they gave me. This was the first time that I'd had my own room for a couple of years. I've been in night shelters, but that's like sharing an area like this with 20 other people. Other times sleeping on buses and that, you have no peace or anything to yourself. So actually having my own room, that was a massive deal. There's the bags I took with me there when I got into there. So I was in disbelief when I got that, after sleeping in car parks, buses, sharing prison cells with people I didn't want to be around. They even gave me some toiletries, you can see there on the bed. So, why is this not going to the next slide? Ah, there we go. Right. So, now I had somewhere to live, I didn't have to be on edge anymore. I could turn down my image, relax a little, stop dressing like a mugger all in black to appear intimidating. I was still addicted to drugs, but the stability gave me a chance to get on a methadone prescription, and this gave me a break from stealing and smoking. In the spare time, I drew a little, and there's one of the drawings that I drew up there. It's like a crazy pattern, mad thing, but I like it. Yeah. One day, I was enticed into an art workshop by the promise of some real coffee and some fresh donuts. Who could resist? It was here that I met David Toby, and I showed him some of the artwork that I've been doing in my room. Through David, I was introduced to Maurice, and I came to Accumulate workshops at Autograph, and I did some drawings that got used for my part in the Book of Homelessness. I felt so good that my art hadn't been rejected. I've always had a low opinion of my ability. So this was a really big confidence boost for me. I mean, just look at how smug I look there, you know, my little shirt, like, yeah. Also, around this time in 2020, I moved out of the hostel into my own room, and that's it there. I know it's a bit messy, but yeah. Scary, but it was progress. So, the little guy with his hands in the air, he's like, hooray. That was a photo that I took on one of the online Zoom workshops that was delivered by Williams, the smartphone photography workshops. There's also a watercolour there that I did in one of the online workshops. I'd not used watercolour before. I always drew with whatever I had, and that was like pencils, biros, you know, stuff that I'd nicked, whatever. So yeah, this was a bit of a step forwards for me. The little wooden chap is also cheering because I was one of the 6 Accumulate scholarship winners to university in June. I wasn't expecting it. I knew about them, and I think I remember applying for them, but I didn't expect to receive one. And you can tell that I wasn't prepared because I had to use an old photo for my student ID and for my application, and that's the photo there. Yeah, I was stuck with that for the whole year. Seriously though, I was proud. I started the university in September, and yeah, it was odd due to COVID, but it was an amazing experience. I got to learn so much. I got to find out what I wanted to do next, and I made some amazing friends, some of whom I still keep in regular touch with now. I got amazing advice and support from the staff at the university, including some mental health counselling. And going there also gave me the motivation to finally stop smoking heroin, which is a really big deal for me. I just didn't have the time anymore. You know, like I could see other people getting work done outside of university. You know, I thought I could just attend and do the work while I was there and then carry on with my life outside. But I didn't have any time outside because all I was doing was, you know, drinking, taking drugs, and yeah, heroin takes up a lot of your time. So I just didn't have the time anymore. I quit drugs and alcohol on September the 28th in 2020. and I'd later go on to stop methadone. I did this in the Easter break. I had a long withdrawal that put me behind with my work, but the staff and my friends were supportive. My tutors gave me all the time that I needed to catch up, even going as far as getting me one-on-one sessions with the librarian to help with an essay that I struggled with. So the support that I received there was amazing, seriously. Oops, how did that happen? Right, we just skipped ahead. This remote control needs sorting out, like. Also, in 2020 and 2021, I did some work through Accumulate. I met the lovely guys at the Barbican at a workshop last year, and they asked if I'd design a workshop for their community. What was it called? Communities in residence, community. Yeah. I've heard it called several different things. I didn't know what to put in. Yeah. I used to be a workshop leader back in my 20s, and doing this really reminded me of how much I love doing this sort of work. I tried to make my activity bright and cheerful to lift people up a bit during the pandemic, and the workshop was well received, and they got me to do it with 3 or 4 different groups. I'm so grateful for the chance to do this, as it made me aware of my skills with people. Well, it made me remember my skills with people, and it boosted my confidence no end. I can remember when I first met Maurice that I couldn't even look her in the face when I spoke. I was so lacking in confidence at the time. And through doing this work, it made me feel equal to the people I was working with, like a functioning member of society again, not just a thief, drug addict, or a criminal. I was also super lucky to get to use my illustration skills for the big issue, and that's what these black and white images are here. They covered the book of homelessness, and they interviewed me about how my involvement with Accumulate had helped me change my life for the better. And they also wanted to do an illustrated story of people's journeys from the streets to employment and their involvement with the Big Issue magazine. So doing this, that was a dream come true for me. I felt like a professional illustrator. I was being paid. My art was in a national publication. Like some people, they do art and draw and stuff their whole lives without getting chances like that. So that was a really, really big thing for me. And that picture there, that's a collage that I did for the activity with the Barbican. Bright, cheerful, hearts, stars, nice and uplifting. Right. So this is the last slide. So yeah, let me fast forward to where I am now. I still live in the room in Chiswick. I'm drug-free, alcohol-free, getting support with my mental health needs finally. I'm healthy and I feel like I have a purpose again. Through these experiences, I've realised that I love working with people and being creative, and without Accumulate, I wouldn't have rediscovered this passion. Here is my golden ticket from Ravensbourne University. It was a bit late coming, but got it. I've completed the course, and I'm looking forward to going on to study illustration for communication to a degree level next year. I'm also thinking of going on to study art therapy at a later date, but that's the future. A future that I couldn't have even dreamed of back when I was sleeping in buses and smoking drugs every day. So I've been returning to the workshops and helping out where I can, and encouraging others to get involved as much as possible, because I'd love for them to experience half of the transformation that I've experienced. So thanks for listening, everybody, and just a big thanks to everyone who's made this possible for me. I'm so grateful.